Hi, everyone. I'm Frank Malakut. I'm a news anchor and a reporter for KTVU Fox 2 here in the San Francisco Bay Area. My guest is Maura Horton. She is a care coach who will talk about the effects of isolation on our seniors and how to keep them engaged and healthy during the pandemic. Good morning, Maura.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to have you with us as well. This is a big issue because the senior population is exploding. The baby boomers are there now. 52 million Americans are 65 years or older, and many don't have a lot of social interaction at any rate. And then you throw this virus on top of it, it's got to be very difficult for them.
Yes, it's so different. They're not only dealing with the medical worries, but the social worry as well, and the lack of connectivity. So we need to make sure that we are uber aware of their challenges.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks are checking in. I know I am. I try to make a phone call every day to somebody. It may not be a senior, it just may be a colleague or a friend, but someone you haven't talked to in a long time to see how they're doing. And I would suspect if seniors have grandkids, getting that phone call does a lot of help, right?
It definitely means the world to them. And, it's the best way to start a morning too. So I would recommend that they call morning and night, just to be the first voice they hear in the morning and the last voice they hear at night, just to talk about their day and other items that might have come up in their lives, but just to be the positivity in the morning and at night.
Well, we'll get back to that in a moment. First, you're a care coach. Tell us exactly what that is. And I know you've been on quite a journey the last decade, losing your husband to Parkinson's and taking care of him. Tell us about your husband.
Yeah, thank you for asking about him. So my husband, of course, was an amazing man, but we were married for 23 years, and he, at a very early age, the age of 48, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, so a neurodegenerative disease that I watched and helped him navigate and every day change our game plan, if you will. He was a career college football coach, and so he was active until the very end, but we had to navigate lots of challenges throughout that time to help him adjust to his ailment and to help others around him adjust to that, and including our family. So hence being a care coach was born.
You actually developed a kind of a line of clothing to help people as well, Magna Ready. Tell us about that as well.
Yeah, I launched out of a moment he had between himself and a player by the name of Russell Wilson. He was trapped in a locker he was trapped in a locker room one day, unable to button his buttons after a game and to catch a team plane to go home. And Russell saw him struggling and went over and helped him button his shirt in silence. And Don told me about that struggle, and so I went to work and hopefully created something that many people use now every day, and they have dexterity or limited mobility in their fingers, and it's a magnetized buttoning mechanism.
Awesome.
So
talk about what you do as a care coach. What exactly is that?
Sure. So I just help people throughout their day understand challenges that the elder community might be going through, or persons with disabilities might be struggling with, and helping them find creative solutions about discussions or activities that could help change and enhance everyday life.
And on that note, let's pivot back to the seniors now. We're social beings, and this is difficult for all of us. I'm very social, and we're working from home 5 days a week. I think our families are all getting sick of us a little bit, but especially seniors who, might get a visit a couple of days a week from grandkids or their own kids or their neighbors or even care providers. How difficult it is for seniors that are doubly cooped up now.
Yeah, it definitely is. They really worry about the health implications. So there's not only the social distancing, but there's definitely a overlay of worry about their medical concerns. So those two together are more of a concern that we need to worry with and kind of segment out and help them navigate those waters.
All right, let's talk about maybe some things we can do to help them out. We talked about phone calls, but what else can we do to reach out to some of our older folks that are weathering the storm like all of us?
Yeah, my two biggest tips are to be creative and to be curious. So, whatever ways you can do that, whether it's through a phone call, a FaceTime, Zoom, or even snail mail, those are really great options.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see the handwriting from a grandparent or your own parent and the vernacular differences that you may see as far as word choices to show your grandkids. But you can really cover a lot of ground still just writing snail mail. So I would encourage that to happen. I know a lot of people are sending cards out every day so that their loved ones have something to read or something to look forward to as well.
I remember I used to call my parents when I lived back east. They've left us since, but they were in their 70s, and we had this great marinade for flank steak that is just awesome. And I know how to make it, but I'd always kind of improvise or forget an ingredient or two. And every time I'd make it, I would call my mom and say,
Mhm.
what was that ingredient? You know, she's, oh, come on, Frank, you got to get. But I only did it because I know she would appreciate, hey, a phone call. I need some help. You know, you want to have some self-worth during the day, like you're helping somebody else. So,
Yeah, definitely. Self-worth and purpose, right? So
purpose,
they
right.
want to feel that they still have a purpose in this world, and they might not be out and about in their community because a lot of seniors still do volunteer themselves as well, but that way they're having a purpose and connectivity. And even if it's just reading your grandkids a story at night, that's a great purpose for them.
Well, and with video, you can do that now. You know, when I was
Absolutely.
back east years ago, I'd call on the phone. That was about all she wrote. When I was on television in Boston and New Hampshire, my parents couldn't watch me, and now you can do that through the internet. But video, things like Zoom and Skype and FaceTime are huge, especially with grandkids.
They are. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, so we all
Oh
have to
yeah.
be patient for sure. Yesterday, I helped an 80-year-old download Zoom and try to connect with his loved ones. So it's definitely learning for them and for us, right? So we're really looking at screens instead of just clicking, and we're doing much better at connecting and talking and working it through. So be patient is the number one key for sure.
One of my buddies in New Jersey, his grandkids are down in Maryland, and they do Lego time 3 days a week.
I love that.
Grandpa helps the kids build Legos. He's got Legos, they've got Legos, and they're both building the same thing and talking about it as they go along.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. I heard the other day too of a grandfather that was trying to teach his grandson how to tie a bow tie over
Oh, yeah.
FaceTime. So these are things that, again, boredom may set in, but there's lots of learning opportunities or aha moments, if you will.
I spoke with a CEO here in San Francisco with Get Set Up. It's it's a startup that started about 6 months ago, and it's basically a learning platform for seniors who teach other seniors how to do online banking, how to set up a Zoom room, how to get the Uber app and get an Uber at your door. All these things that are kind of high tech in their world that seem kind of simple for millennials and folks maybe in their 40s and whatnot. But it's a great app, so you might want to send that through.
I definitely will. That's awesome. I
Yeah,
have not heard of that.
it's called Get Set Up. Talk about the importance of a routine. So if you're going to call grandma or grandpa or maybe even your mom or dad, make a note and try to do it more than once a week. The more the merrier, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, continue to stay connected whatever way you can, but routines are so important. And the reason why FaceTime is super good is because you can make sure that they are up at a certain time and that they've changed their clothes and all those touch points that we all want to make sure that they're doing well. And it's hard to hear that through just a phone call, but when you can see it through a video call, that's so much more important. But yeah, set a routine so that we all have something to look forward to on both ends.
We've all been touched too by, maybe a loved one's in a nursing home or assisted living. They can't interact with their family, but you see, two hands on a window saying hi, or they come and serenade with a bunch of people, kids singing happy birthday, that kind of thing. Those are those are pretty awesome too.
They definitely are. They touch everyone's heart. And again, it's a great way to be creative and make sure you're staying connected. I would encourage, if your loved one is in a nursing home, to still work together and put together photo albums. Those are still being sent, digital online photo albums, and you can have them snail mailed directly to them so that they have a piece of you that they can touch and hold in a book. And maybe it's your favorite memories or favorite vacation, or your birthdays you celebrated with them, but to kind of curate something and send it to them so they have a physical element of you.
My grandfather used to say, when you're old, you just want someone's time. When you're young, you just want attention. I think as we grow older, we realize that having one-on-one time with a peer or an elder or someone younger is just so important.
So important. And we opportunity time now to put down our devices and really focus, because I don't know how many times we've had conversations where you're talking to someone but you're still looking at a computer screen. And so yeah, so try to do less multitasking and more direct conversations is so important.
I know. Well, it's probably going to change now, but when you go out for dinner and you look at the table next to you, two kids, two parents, four phones, nothing going on, it's like, come on, put them away.
Exactly.
I think it's important to know too, I mean, the kids and the grandkids can reach out, but the seniors can too. Pick up the phone, send an email, that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, and you know what I get worried about are people that don't have their children living close by to them, and just the individuals who might have lost their spouse and don't have anyone really checking in on them. So if you're in the community and you know of a senior that is alone, to check in or just leave a note on their door, have your kids draw cards. I've heard of Tulip Tuesdays, where people are just dropping off flowers every Tuesday at some seniors' homes. So there are a lot of people that don't have those extended families that are either close by or that have lost people along the way. So we have to really be cognizant of them.
Yeah, I got a friend in TV that lives next door to a couple elderly folks, and he does their shopping for them.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. Well, you're in North Carolina. We don't know too much about what's going on there. Give us an idea how North Carolina is dealing with COVID-19.
Yeah, I mean, we are hopefully all obeying the stay orders. They've just extended it till May 9th for us here in North Carolina.
Right.
I know our bordering state, South Carolina, has not. So I guess there'll be the Petri dish to kind of segue close to us to see how they're doing with releasing those orders. But yeah, I think North Carolina has come together pretty well as a community and supporting others and trying to uplift local shops that are small business owned and supporting them as well.
How about Georgia? I know Georgia is opening up salons and massage parlors and bowling alleys. Did people in North Carolina kind of shake their heads going, I don't think we're ready yet?
Yeah, I definitely think so, because our stay at home was just extended yesterday by a week. So I think it was in direct response to that. So I don't think anyone's really ready, and I'm not going to go to a bowling alley anytime soon.
I know, not exactly essential, I would say. Well, I know you've got two kids. How are they coping with all of this?
When one's up, one's down. So you just have to be, super vigilant about trying to keep them up. The other day we thought we heard an ice cream truck and they came out running, and I was like, I don't think there is an ice cream truck anymore. So yeah, I mean, they're coping. The online school is definitely challenging, and the workload they're still trying to maintain. So mental health is key. So I say, if you need to let it go, let it go. So.
And Maura, if people want to get in touch with you, how would they do that if they want more information on what you're doing?
Sure. It's magnaready@gmail.com. So MAGNA and then the word ready @gmail.com.
And that has to do with the clothing that you're helping for those that need help, among other things?
That's correct. That is correct. we have a caring site on there as well. So.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking a little time, and stay safe there in North Carolina. And all the best to those two kids. One up, one down. Hopefully they'll both be up here real soon.
Hope so. I know.
All right.
I know. All right. Thank you.
All right, Maura, thank you. That's Maura Horton. She's a care coach out in Raleigh, North Carolina. Maura, thank you so much. I'm Frank Malakote here in the Bay Area. We'll send it back to you now.